What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Things are getting very close for the first startup on the 1JZ. There's a couple of things that we've been doing behind the scenes. We've set up the wideband except for one signal wire that we have to wire up to the LINK ECU. And we're also going to be installing the fuel setup because I made a huge mistake, guys. It's probably the biggest oopsies out of this whole swap. I firsthand didn't know that the 2JZ was a returnless style fuel system. With that being said, the 1JZ is a return style system, just like 90% of the cars out there. My buddy, Anselmo, he told me that I needed an Aristo fuel pump, which is a GS300 from Japan. Looks good, right? So it has the same identical connector, has the same location as the feed line, and the bottom piece is identical as well. All I really had to do instead of rewiring the whole thing is just unplug the connectors and just assemble it. So it was super easy. You can see this fuel line was cut, which a lot of importers do try to make it easy. That's not what you want though, because the stock IS fuel line is too short. So you can't route it all back up because where the fuel dampener is located, it doesn't reach. Shout out to Anselmo again. He gave me a 1JZ one, which you need because it's longer. And even though this is for a completely different chassis, it still bolts up. You can see how I did it. Super simple, just put a clamp on the hose. The reason why I'm running the fuel line from the tank back is because it'll probably be a pain in the ass to try to feed up and then try to tie in everything. So I'd rather just plumb this through real quick and just set it down. This honestly came out a lot cleaner than I expected. I'm running the 5/8 line with the brake and fuel lines, and I'm just zip tying it all the way to the front. Before we open up the LINK box, make sure to go order a new sticker. We made an IS300 sticker designed by Stephanie, and it's a little chibi. So if you want to support the channel,
it's cute.
Pretty sick, huh? The company Excessive, in collaboration with Panic, used to make an IS300 PNP harness and ECU with LINK. Panic still makes them, but not a lot of people know that. Obviously it's expensive, but it's a standalone and they're making you a custom harness to work with factory gauges and AC, which is what I wanted to do. This is the manual ECU. They look identical. And that's really nice because it could bolt into the factory spots on top. You can see that it has an adapter harness. And this is what's going to be allowing you to have factory AC and all that good stuff. It also comes with a MAF to intake air temp adapter. It has a built-in map sensor. So I'm gonna be just hooking that up to the intake manifold. That's super easy. And then you have this cable itself, which is going to be your tuning / like diagnostic port now. Right now, it can't find the ECU because I don't have ignition on. The moment I give it ignition on, it's gonna prime the car. So we'll actually see if there's any fuel leaks. But I'm nervous because this is the first time we're actually turning the key. Okay, ECU is connected. So now you can see this is where all the technical stuff that I know nothing about is going to pop up. And I should probably take some courses on tuning because I want to be able to tune my cars like Jeremiah does. Okay, E-throttle, setup mode, everything's going to be in setup mode right now. ECU is disabled. Matt from Panic sent me an unlock code. Okay, unlock code accepted. So now we have access to it. So whenever I take it to go get tuned, probably like in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, they have full access to do whatever they need to do. First things first, we're going to be setting up map sensor calibration. Okay, that's good. We have that set up. To set up electronic throttle cable, we have to go into electronic throttle, E-throttle 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the pedal down, and it's going to be actually kind of calibrating itself based on the full throttle. And I think we're done here. It comes with a base map to start the car and actually turn the car over.
Hey, it cranks.
Just as a safety precaution, we need to see if we're actually building oil pressure without an oil pressure gauge. I popped off the oil feed line to the turbo, and Stephanie's holding it while I crank it. So hopefully there should be oil coming out. Cool. We have not figured out the no start issue. I even swapped back to the old ECU. The igniter's working, the wiring's working, so I honestly am kind of stuck. I'm gonna have to go through everything.
It's all your fault, Daniel.
Should add less salted.
Should add less salted.
What is this, a cross member? Okay.
Front key member.
But when's the last time we actually did a video on this thing? Since the turbo, huh? This motor is practically a twin of this one, right?
Yeah, that car will be a twin of that one.
So
everything down to piping, turbo,
Everything, huh? This BMR K-member and BMR control arms. And this is gonna be really nice because this is tubular, right?
Yeah. It's
So-
a chrome ollie, 4130 chrome ollie. So it, theoretically we'll see, but they say it should remove 50 pounds off of it.
Jesus, that thing is massive. Bro, that did not look that big under the car. That's gnarly. What a huge ass difference.
Yeah. Oh, this is like light.
Jesus Christ. This is gonna give you so much more clearance. Yeah, I feel like this one, like you mentioned, is obviously going to be the sturdier one.
Like 262.
That's 82 pounds.
How much?
82. You're fine.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, little buddy?
Chilling.
All right.
So it's been about a week since Dakota's had the car. We're gonna go pick it up right now. I already have the tow truck en route. We're gonna go get food, and then we're gonna go talk to Dakota, give you guys a little introduction so you can talk to him, see what he did, and then try to get this car started today. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Dude, this thing looks sweet, bro.
Came out all right.
All right, what do you mean, bro? This thing is gnarly.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I was gonna ask you like, hey, can you put something on there?
Yeah.
You're like, I need to wall up something tomorrow. And I thought it was that.
Yeah, that was the last piece because the exhaust I welded up yesterday.
This looks so sweet, bro. So Dakota pretty much did all the piping for this car. He did the intercooler piping, turbo inlet, the outlet. The exhaust is insanely cool. He did a custom ABS bracket, and he did a throttle cable bracket. So you can see all this shit is just all custom, which is really nice because it's meant to fit this car. And even for the power cable, you can see there's 2 nuts riveted so we can have something to hold on to it, and it can just be mounted. Bro, and you don't want to do this for a living?
No.
You're wild.
No, I do this until I don't have to.
This thing looks so killer. We don't have all the piping on right now, but just check out the work now that we're back at the shop. This thing is insane. I like the little finishing touch he did too. Put a little native engineering badge on it. But one thing that he did do, instead of running just the generic piping that goes down here, he cut a hole saw which fits perfectly and just goes down. We're definitely gonna have to cut the bumper a little bit more to get it to fit. So at least now I can mock it up, but we're getting super close to being able to mount it up. Right now, Jeremiah is wiring up the battery so we can get our first start. A week ago when we were trying to figure out why it wasn't starting, well, we figured it out, and it's kind of our fault. It's the actual trigger wheel, if I could find it. The trigger wheel had 2 broken teeth on them, so it just kept restarting the count and not allowing it to start up.
So we're about to start it, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
If it blows up, I'll back up.
All right.
You're a bitch.
It started.
You're a bitch. You're a bitch.
Somebody.
So even before, it's the one when it started.
No. That was the reason. You're a bitch. I said it.
So what happened?
Well, this car came with, like I mentioned before, a returnless fuel system. So I swapped the line where the feed was supposed
Fucking
to
guy,
be.
man.
But the motor sounded good.
That's
You
quiet.
didn't hear any, like,
Start it back
ticking.
up again.
Alright, let me start it. I don't have the exhaust on, but.
It's not loud.
It did start. That was very exciting because this startup map actually starts pretty fucking well. That's pretty gnarly. Good. Better than most tuners out there. I drilled a hole right here for the map sensor, so it could just run right through, so we can actually like tie in this whole thing down so it'll look a lot cleaner. So things are coming down very good. So at least it starts, so we can start hooking up the exhaust. intake, tubing, all that stuff. So we don't really have to worry about that. Now it's just the brake line's the main priority and the battery. Once that's set, I do have a tuner already, Animal Auto. He's a GTR specialist. We've been talking back and forth. He's gonna be tuning it next week, but he is gonna give me a remote tune, kind of dial everything in so I can drive it over there and then fully dial it in on the dyno. Look at how beautiful this work is. This is all custom. This is a vibrant, ultra quiet resonator, which hopefully should help with the rasp and the loudness. Today was pretty successful. We got the first startup and the motor's alive. Doesn't have rod knock, doesn't have any issues. So that's really good. We have the full exhaust on. We have the intercooler piping on except for the driver side because kind of being tedious right now. We're trying to get it to fit because this is such a big piping here that it's really close to hitting the power steering. So I'm trying to get that all dialed in, making sure it doesn't hit when we take it on long drives or the motor flexes a lot. I just put on the water pump pulley and the belt. So that was kind of a pain in the ass because we had the radiator on. We have a long day ahead of us tomorrow. I don't think you guys are gonna see the car until the next video when we're actually dynoing it. So we're gonna try to get everything else done. We have the brake lines that we're going to be making tomorrow. We have the blow valve set up with some nice push lock fittings. We have all the lines nicely tucked that are going all around into the intake manifold. We're using a 2-port push lock fitting, which simplifies a lot of things. I'll see you guys on the next video. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
No one ever really dies. T threw a rag in the sky. She threw it back from the side. I was just losing my mind. You right here telling